Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This one here is a review for NASCAR at Martinsville, the first race of the season at Martinsville, the spring date. Not a Saturday night one, instead it was on a Sunday, so let's have a bit of a talk about it. Because firstly, those softer tyres actually proved quite handy around the paperclip. Because, well, you could see people coming and going as the stages went on. Stage 2, Chase Elliott charged through in the later sections of it. Later in the race, wasn't it Christopher Bell ended up making some good moves? At the same time, we could look through the top 10 and you see a couple of different names you wouldn't necessarily expect. People like Ross Chastain, who we haven't seen too much of this year, or Ryan Preece, yet again being the best RFK car in the 60. And he was the best Ford as well in 7th, whilst Joey Logano got his first top 10 of the year. Worst start to a title defence, I think, in the NASCAR Cup Series history. But then, given that he had, on average, the lowest finish for a champion in NASCAR Cup Series history, potentially not too surprising. However, whilst you could potentially say that last year was a tale of Hendrick domination, this time around it felt like we were in Japan because it was, Toyota City. The top 3 locked out. Denny Hamlin was arguably the driver of the day, and it's good for the 11 to be able to get a win. I was surprised he didn't tell people that he beat their favourite driver, though he's seemingly got a new slogan that he's bringing in this year. I can't remember it now, though, a couple of days after the event. Christopher Bell drove through really well in the late stage of the race. I think he's still the favourite for the championship, and given that this was a good track for him, and it would be the closer for the round of 8, going to the championship 4, that bodes well for the driver of the 20. But in 3rd place, and he ran in the top 3 for most of the day, was Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace has had a phenomenal start to the 2025 Cup Series schedule, and you can just see it in the results that he's been putting out. I mean, there are some bits that have not been particularly the best for him, notably just bad luck at Coda put him in 20th, Phoenix he was 29th, Vegas he was 28th, though he was caught an instance, but he's just had 2 third places in a row. He got a top 10 in Atlanta and had been running well there, and been running well at Daytona 500 like he usually does, until again, late race incidents. He's had a fine run of form, even if the scoreboard doesn't necessarily reflect it. However, in this case it kind of does, because he's 8th in the regular championship standings, and in the regular season championship standings, to be in 8th place is really good. I mean, at the same time, where is Tyler Reddick? Tyler Reddick is actually, though he is locked into the playoffs, 5 points ahead in the regular season standings. It's 213 to 208. He's only 10 points behind Denny Hamlin, who won the last race and has 2 second places to his name. Or is it a second in the top 5? I apologise. It's so impressive, this start of the season that Wallace has had, and it just is testament to how he's been developing further and further as a driver. I reckon he could win his way in at some point. It just needs everything to fall into place for that to happen. That said, though, there's no doubt in the fact that the organisation to beat is still Hendrick Motorsport. I mean, they lock out the top 3 in the regular season standings, even if Chase Elliott is only 3 points clear of Christopher Bell. But, even then, Alex Bowman is sort of joint 4th, because Bell's only really ahead on wins, 3 wins, and Bowman's got a second place at Homestead to his name. But it could have been, if not for the rotten luck he had this weekend for Bowman, Hendrick locking out the top 4 in the regular season standings, whilst then you have JGR 5th and 6th. And remember, this is after, 7 races of the regular season? 23-11, 7th and 8th, ahead of the leading Penske's in 9th and 10th. And then Buescher in 11th. And what's equally as fascinating is to look at who's on the bubble for the playoffs at the moment, because Josh Berry's down in 19th in the point standings despite getting the win at Vegas. So that means that the bubble, right now, that theoretical bubble, I know it's probably a bit too early to be talking about it, is 15th place, not 16th. And right now, the two drivers that are between 15th and 16th are 9 points apart. It's Kyle Busch, who is 9 points out, and 9 points in is Michael McDowell. What's arguably the most impressive about McDowell is he hasn't had a top 10 all year. He's had 2 11ths from the 12th. That 12th being at Martinsville, the 11ths being Kota and 500. You know, super speedway and a road course, places where he's generally at his best. But he has been relentlessly consistent. I mean, heck, John Hunter even checking the legacy is just outside of that points bubble at the moment. AJ Allmendinger is as well. I know we're only 7 races in, and the regular season is, 26 races, so we're barely a quarter of the way. But that is creating potentially an utterly fascinating playoff picture. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. I'm not really going to comment on the stuff that happened in Xfinity, because whilst that was stunning and shocking in several different ways, I'm not really an expert on that stuff. So check out people who talk about NASCAR pretty much every day, people like The Iceberg or Eric Estep. They've done a really good job of covering it. But thanks for watching, folks. Till next time, it's bye-bye for now.